want it, get it, don't ever give up, you got it. You wanna make it, then chase it, no one can stop you. Stop you, they're gonna hate you, but let them hate you, that's fine. Cause if they stand in your way, then you gotta leave them behind.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Samuel Burns, and welcome back to the Kansas Jayhawks Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. We are coming off the win over Texas Tech, and it does not get much easier. You see, TCU has destroyed basically everyone in their path. They haven't played a game closer than like 20-something points. With us, we're coming off back-to-back wins, a very impressive win over Texas Tech. I was very happy getting a Big 12 win. You'll see the Big 12 standings here with TCU, Baylor, and then we're still up there, but it's not going to be an easy task. We got to go against TCU. And the Heisman frontrunner, Trayvon Boykin, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has almost 500 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns. It's going to be tough. It's on the road against the number 2 team in the country. I'm just hoping we can stay in the game. TCU is just such a good team that you never know how the game's going to go. We need our defense to play well. We need our offense to play. We need every facet of this team to play well for us to have a chance. As again, you get to look at the Big 12 standings with TCU and Baylor on top. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how well we start to compete with these better Big 12 teams. I think we can win 4 or 5 Big 12 games. Our defense just has to step up, and our offense has to play like they've been playing all year. TCU has the number 1 offense in the country, so it's definitely a good test for our defense. We're sitting at the number 2 offense in the country currently, so we'll definitely see how this game goes. Trayvon Boykin is going to be a handful. He always is a handful. Luckily, we only have to deal with him for this year. He will be graduating after this year, so that's really the plus side of this. So really, in order to win this game, we need to play a perfect game, and TCU's definitely going to be a tough test. We know that already. So getting into the game, we have the ball first. Cozart is going to hand off on a read option to Keon Kinner up the middle. That's a 20-yard gain for Kinner on his first carry of the game. And then on 3rd and 6 later in the drive, Cozart's rolling to his right, and he fires and can't find a receiver. He is 0 for 2 on that drive, and the Jayhawks have to punt to the very high-powered TCU offense, who we got to a 3rd and 7, and Boykin errantly throws it out of bounds, so it's a 3-and-out for TCU. Great job by our defense to get that stop. So 1st and 10, Cozart keeping this one. He's got some room up the left sideline to the 40. Cozart to the 50, to the 40, down inside the 40 to about the 33-yard line, a 47-yard gain by Montel Cozart, who has been very dynamic on the ground this year. He obviously had that 200-yard rushing game against Louisiana Tech, which was very impressive. And a very impressive run right there as Cozart is rolling to his right, and he fires, and what a catch by Trey Parmalee right there, a 14-yard reception as he stretches out and still gets a foot down. So that is a 1st down for the Jayhawks. Now on 2nd and 12, Cozart keeping him on the read option up the middle, and he slides down for a 1st down. Another good run by Montel Cozart sets up a 1st and goal for Kansas. Now here we go on 3rd and goal. Cozart rolling to his right, and he's going to go ahead and take off and dive. Touchdown, Jayhawks. And Kansas takes a 7-point lead on the number 2 team in the country. So it's definitely a good start to what we need to do in this game to win this game. So 1st and 10, Boykin is back to pass, firing on the right side. He finds the star wide receiver, Josh Doxson, for a 6-yard gain. And on 3rd and 8, in the pistol formation, Boykin back to pass again, firing, and he finds Cavante Turpin for the 1st down, a 13-yard reception right there. And now on 1st and 10, Boykin is going to fire over the middle for Josh Doxson once again, and another 1st down. 21 yards for Josh Doxson on that play. And now on 1st and 10, Boykin's going to pass again, going deep, and it's intercepted by Brandon Stewart. He threw it right to him. That was an interesting throw by the Heisman frontrunner, just his 2nd interception on the season. Brandon Stewart, it was probably the easiest interception he'll ever have. It was about 15 yards away from any TCU receiver, and Brandon Stewart was hovering in the area and picks it off. So we have a chance to go up by 2 scores now, as Kinner is going to take this one and run for 8 yards, set up into the 2nd and 2. And now here on 3rd and 4, Cozart is going to find Shaquem Barbell for the 1st down. 10 yards on that catch for Shaquem Barbell, setting up another 1st down. And on 1st and 10, running the counter is Kinner, and he's going to cut up the middle and making some people miss, and he gets 10 and another Kansas 1st down. He has 4 carries for 42 yards so far in this game. Now on 3rd and 14 in the shotgun, Cozart back to pass, and he's going to fire deep, and he's got a man, can't get it there. And that is going to bring up a 4th down for the Jayhawks as we have to give it back to this high-powered TCU offense. So 1st down, Boykin is back to pass, and he's going to go ahead and take off himself. He's a very dynamic runner, shoves a man off of him. Marquise Roberts, our best tackler, he just made him look like a 10-year-old trying to tackle an NFL player. That was terrible. 2nd and 13 now for Boykin, and he's back to pass again. Fire and finds Colby Listenby for the 1st down. That is a 16-yard gain. Now on 3rd and 10, Boykin back to pass, and he's got one man deep, and it's Cavante Turpin in the end zone. 34 yards, and TCU ties this game up at 7 apiece here as the first quarter is starting to wind down. That was a great play, and our corner just got burned there. So 1st and 10, Cozart, he's going to find Ben Johnson down inside TCU territory. That's 27 yards for Ben Johnson on his first catch of the day. 1st and 10, Cozart back to pass. He's going to fire on the right side, and it's intercepted. And that guy just jumped to that route perfectly. The guy, Stanford was open on the corner route, but it was definitely an ill-advised throw. I mean, the coverage was there, but figured we could try to fit it in there, but guess not. So Cavante Turpin now, who just had the big touchdown on the last drive, gets 19 right there. 2nd and 5, Boykin firing on the right side for Colby Listenby, who breaks a tackle by Tyrone Miller Jr. Kevin Shaw ends up shoving him out of bounds after a 12-yard gain. So we've reached the end of one, and Kansas, we're doing exactly what we need to do. We're competing. 7-7 after 1 quarter against the number 2 team in the country. We'll see if we can continue to stay with TCU as we approach halftime. So here we go, first play of the 2nd quarter. Boykin is back to pass, and he's going to go ahead and fire. He's got Cavante Turpin for the 1st down. That's an 8-yard gain for Turpin to set up a 1st down and goal. Now on 1st and goal, Boykin is going to go ahead and fire, and it's Josh Doxson in traffic. 6-yard touchdown. That was a great catch by Josh Doxson, and a touchdown for TCU as they take their first lead of the game, 14-7. That's 14 unanswered. We'll see if the Jayhawks offense can answer. 2nd and 12, Cozart, play action pass. He's going to fire, and a great throw to Ben Johnson right there. That gets 18 and a 1st down. 2nd and 6 now, Cozart is back to pass, and he's going to go ahead and fire over the middle for Joshua Stanford on the slant route right there. Going to go ahead and get 13, his 2nd catch on the day. Now on 1st and 10, Cozart's going to fire on the left side for Kenner, who's very dynamic, making people miss. Great job after the catch by Keon Kenner. That was like a 1-yard gain, maybe even less coming off of that pass, and he turned it into a 17-yard gain. Very impressive job by Keon Kenner, making people miss that juke and then the cutback right there, and before he's finally shoved down from behind. So great job by Kenner getting us the 1st down right there. Now here on 1st and 10, Kozart's going to hand off to Kenner, who's going to go on the right side and make some more people miss and get another 1st down. 10-yard run for Keon Kenner as he's up to 52 yards on the day. And now 3rd and goal, Cozart rolling to his right, and he's going to fire. He's got Ben Johnson, can't get in the end zone, and Kansas will have to settle for a field goal. Makes it 14-10 TCU. Boykin scrambling around, and he's going to slide down close to the 1st down. So a great run by Trayvon Boykin right there. And now here on 1st and 10 later in the drive, Boykin empty backfield, and he fires, and it's intercepted by Greg Allen. Boykin has more interceptions today than he does in every other game this season. His 2nd of the day, 3rd on the season, sets up a 2nd and 5 now for the Jayhawks. Cozart is going to throw, and he finds Shaquem Barbell just past the 1st down line for a 7-yard gain and another Jayhawks 1st down. Now here on 1st and 10, Cozart going to be running a little triple option and runs it to perfection as Keon Kenner is going to go ahead and get the 1st down and get down to about the 16-yard line. 18-yard run for Keon Kenner. He's up to 70 yards on the day, averaging over 11 yards a carry. Now Cozart going to throw, and he finds Ben Johnson in the end zone for the 16-yard touchdown as Kansas reclaims the lead 17-14 here with about 2.5 minutes to go in the 1st half. So back to this high-powered TCU offense as they're going to go ahead and fire to Aaron Green right there on the little check down. 12-yard reception for Aaron Green. Now 1st and 10 in the shotgun is Boykin, and he's back to throw. And he's going to go ahead and fire on the slant route for Josh Doxson, and that is a 1st down for TCU. Now 2 minutes to go here as Boykin is back to pass, and he's going to go ahead and try to take off. And wow, I don't know how he got out of there, but another first down for TCU as Trayvon Boykin runs for 10 yards right there. 1st and 10 now. Boykin in the pistol formation with a back to his left, and he is back to pass, and he's going to fire and find Cavante Turpin on the slant route, and that is another first down for the Horned Frogs. 18 yards for Cavante Turpin as Boykin is putting together a pretty impressive first half besides the interceptions. And then right there, Aaron Green, 15 yards into the end zone, untouched, as TCU reclaims the lead 21-17. But they left a minute 36 on this clock. We're getting the ball back with a minute 33. You'll see these high-powered offenses are definitely living up to expectations. The number 1 and number 2 offense. Currently the number 1 offense is winning, but we'll see what this number 2 offense can do as Cozart keeps it on the triple option, and he's going to slide down after getting the first down. Great run by Cozart. Minute 27 to go, 1st and 10. Cozart is going to take the snap, play action pass, and he's going to be rolling to the right side, and he is just going to take off like he so often does and steps out of bounds after a 19-yard run right there. So here on 3rd and 15, Cozart is back to pass, and he will go ahead and roll to his left side and gets a block. Cozart to the 50. Can he get to the first down line? And he dives. Yes, he does. Montel Cozart, 16-yard run right there as he's up over 120 yards rushing here in the first half. And then he fires deep for Tyler Patrick. Touchdown, Jayhawks. 24-21. Great throw by Cozart. Puts it on the money. And Kansas up 24-21 now with 48 seconds to go. TCU still has 2 timeouts. So they're going to go ahead and try to get some more points as Boykin's going to take off. And he's making people miss. Brought down from behind by Ronnie Davis after a 16-yard gain. And they take a timeout with 41 seconds to go. 2nd and 2 now, 26 seconds to go. Boykin is going to fire on the left side for Cavante Turpin, who gets the Horned Frogs into field goal range with 20 seconds to go. That is a 16-yard catch right there for Cavante Turpin. Now here on 2nd and 10, 13 seconds to go. Boykin fires over the middle for Aaron Green, and he is shoved down right there by Courtney Arnick. And that will set up a field goal attempt for TCU, which then they make. So we head into halftime tied. Number 2 TCU and Kansas tied at 24 at halftime. I think the biggest part of it was we're winning the turnover battle. We have 2 interceptions. They have 1. Our defense is playing pretty well for the most part. I mean, as well as you can expect this defense to play against TCU. Our offense is firing on all cylinders. We just have to close the deal. We're tied at halftime. They get the ball first. We'll see how this goes. You'll see the stats right here. We definitely have more rushing yards, over 200 rushing yards in that first half. We've had the ball for about 3 minutes longer, but the score's even. So really, the first half doesn't really matter. We're basically heading into this as, another half basically tied. So really, what happens in the second half is going to determine who wins this game, obviously. So we'll see how that goes. Here we go as Boykin back to pass, and he's firing over the middle, and Cavante Turpin can't hang on. That is an incomplete pass right there. Marnez Ogletree was in coverage. Now 2nd and 10. Boykin is going to throw over the middle for Aaron Green, who breaks a tackle, and that is a first down as he's brought down by Tevin Shaw. 14 yards on the catch right there. Great play by Boykin right there to find his running back. Now Boykin is back to pass, but he is sacked. Damani Mosby brings down Trayvon Boykin for a 2-yard loss. First sack on the day for Damani Mosby. You'll see Boykin just kind of runs straight into him, was trying to take off but couldn't find a hole. So that is a 2-yard loss. Now here on 3rd and 14, Boykin is back to pass, and he's going to go ahead and fire on the left side, and a great throw, but Cavante Turpin can't hang on. So the Jayhawks hold the Horned Frogs as TCU has to punt. 1st and 10 now for the Jayhawks, running the triple option. There goes Kinner. First down for the Jayhawks, 21 yards for Keon Kinner, who is just shredding this defense. Now here's Cozart, 3rd and 5, and he's going to fire, and he's got Trey Parmalee down inside the 30 to the 20, brought down at about the 16-yard line, 45 yards on the play right there for Trey Parmalee. Now 3rd down and 4, Cozart in shotgun, DeAndre Mann on his left side, and Cozart going to go ahead and take the snap, and he's going to go ahead and roll to his right side. Sees a man in the end zone, fires into Quivante Gonzalez. Always seems to make a big play when we need him to. Gets the touchdown right there, and TCU once again trails by 7 to Kansas. As here goes Aaron Green, who goes about 16 yards before he's touched. First down for TCU. Now here on 1st and 10, Boykin going to hand off to Green up the middle once again. And another first down as Aaron Green gets 11 on that play right there. Now 1st and 10, Boykin, this is a play action. He's firing on the right side for Buck Jones, and a missed tackle right there as Jones is down inside the 20, inside the 10, and brought down after a 38-yard gain. Sets up 1st and goal for Boykin and the offense. And Boykin's just going to take off and make Shaw miss and run into the end zone for an 8-yard touchdown. Trayvon Boykin ties this game up once again. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Jayhawks with the ball. Cozart is going to go ahead and roll to his right side. Has a man downfield. No, he's going to take off. And he is going to step out of bounds after a 14-yard gain. Great play right there by Montel Cozart, who is now over 140 yards rushing. Now on 3rd and 4, running a little screen play. And DeAndre Mann with nowhere to go. They read that the entire way as TCU is going to be getting the ball back here with about 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. 3rd and 9, Boykin has a man deep. He's going to fire. What a throw to Josh Doxson, and TCU reclaims the lead 38-31. Josh Doxson is having himself a game. Big play right there. And you'll see some stats right here for Montel Cozart, who has 143 yards rushing and over 200 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Definitely a dual threat quarterback. So here we go, 3rd and 18. Cozart is back to pass, firing it over the middle, and he finds Stanford. That's not who he was looking for. It was a very inaccurate throw, but Stanford still comes up with the play. Now here's Cozart running the triple option once again, and he's going to go ahead and get out of bounds after he gets the first down. A 13-yard gain for Montel Cozart, who is over 150 yards on the ground now. And here we go, 3rd and 14 for Cozart and this offense. He is back to pass once again, and nowhere really to go. He's going to go ahead and get sacked. 7-yard loss by Montel Cozart, and the Jayhawks have to punt. And we head to the fourth quarter. TCU holds a slim advantage over Kansas, 38-31. We'll see if the Jayhawks can come back and try to pull off the monumental upset. 3rd and 12 for Boykin inside the 5 after a great punt by the Jayhawks. 3rd and 12, Boykin back to pass, and he fires over the middle, and who else but Josh Doxson gets the first down, 14 yards. They needed 12, and they get out of the shadow of their own goal line. And now here on 1st and 10, Boykin's going to hand off to Green, who is going to be making some people miss. Even Marquise Roberts can't bring him down. 21 yards on the run for Aaron Green. Marquise Roberts with his 8th tackle of the game, but it wasn't a great one. And here's Boykin breaking a tackle, and then he's going to go ahead and be brought down after a first down. 11-yard gain for Trayvon Boykin. Now here we go on 3rd down and 7. Boykin back to pass, and it's a draw. He hands off to Hicks, and what a play by Marquise Roberts. Kyle Hicks was trying to get to the outside, and Marquise Roberts saw it the whole way, his 9th tackle of the game, and that is going to have to end up being a punt for TCU. So Kansas down 7, 3rd and 11 here, 5 minutes to go in the game. Cozart's going to be rolling to his right side. He fires deep into double coverage and just couldn't get enough arm on that one to get it to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson had a couple steps on the defender, but Cozart just couldn't get enough on it. So here we go, 1st and 10. Boykin going to hand off to Aaron Green up the middle, and that is a first. No, he fumbles, but Josh Doxson picks it up. We needed a turnover there, and we just couldn't pick up the football. 3rd and 17 for Boykin, and he's going to go ahead and try to run, but he's sacked. That's a loss of 1 for Trayvon Boykin, and that is going to set up a field goal attempt for TCU, which they make. So it's a 10-point game here with under 4 minutes to go in the game. Cozart firing deep, and he finds Laquivante Gonzalez for the huge gain right there. Now on 3rd and 10, Cozart back to pass once again. Got a man deep, and Stanford got it. 37-yard gain and a touchdown for Joshua Stanford. A beautiful throw by Montel Cozart right there. Now here we go on 3rd and 2. Boykin in the shotgun is going to hand off to Green, and he is brought down in the backfield. Marquise Roberts with a huge tackle gives the Jayhawks the ball back with about 2 minutes to go in this game, a little under that. You'll see the yards by half. Again, offense is definitely living up to expectations. 566 for Kansas, 496 for TCU. And Cozart had to go out with a strained pectoral, and in comes the backup Michael Cummings, who fires to Laquivante Gonzalez, who, again, I always say this, makes huge plays when we need him to. He has now 3 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. Great job by Gonzalez right there, and that is a big first down with a minute 15. We only need a field goal here to get to overtime, so we'll see if we can do that. 1st and 10, Cozart is going to be sacked. That is the opposite of what we needed. And Kansas takes a timeout, so 2nd and 20. And then after a false start penalty and 2 incomplete passes, Cozart has 4th and 25, and he fires, and it is batted down by the TCU defense. Derek Kindred wins the game for TCU as the number 2 team in the country survives. Trayvon Boykin is your player of the game despite the 2 interceptions, and TCU improves to 6-0 on the season. Kansas, it was a tough loss. We fall to 3-2 on the season, now 1-1 in the Big 12. Overall, I mean, just look at that score. Did you expect us to only lose by 3 to TCU, the number 2 team in the country? Our offense scored a lot. They scored 38 points. We had almost 600 yards of offense. The 2 turnovers we had were big, but we had a chance to win the game, and we couldn't do it. So that's all I can really ask for in this game. I just wanted a chance, and we had the chance we needed. But TCU just, in the end, proved to be too much. It was a really fun game. And definitely a good learning experience for our team. As you'll see some stats right here, Cozart threw the ball 42 times. Not what you expect from this offense. For some reason, I only could give the ball to Kinner 7 times because he didn't play like the entire 4th quarter. I don't know why. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't. I don't know what happened. We didn't run the ball as well as I wish we would have. Most of the rushing yards came from Cozart scrambling. I definitely wish we could have run the ball better in this game. And then Marquise Roberts had another outstanding game, had 11 tackles, is our leading tackler once again. Damani Mosby with 2 tackles for a loss. Of course, he had that sack. And then Greg Allen and Brandon Stewart with the interceptions. The juniors right there both getting an interception off of Trayvon Boykin. And it was a very impressive day by the TCU offense. Boykin was very efficient besides those 2 interceptions, was only sacked once. And then running the ball, Aaron Green had over 100 yards, and Josh Doxson had 6 catches, 123 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He lived up to the hype. Josh Doxson absolutely shredded our defense, and I couldn't expect less. So you'll see the game stats right there. It was that 3rd quarter where they pulled ahead by 7, and we just couldn't do enough in the 4th to come back. Your players of the game right there. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at recruiting as we get 2 more commits. Strong safety Tim Miller, he's a 3-star prospect out of Temple Terrace, Florida. And then also 4-star outside linebacker, the number 12 outside linebacker in this class from Fruitvale, Colorado. And that brings our class so far to 3. And we have some great prospects that we're starting to inch up on their board, such as the number 1 athlete in the country. Next time, it doesn't get much easier. We're at home, taking on the number 12 Oklahoma Sooners. Definitely won't be much easier. They're without Baker Mayfield, but we'll see how this game goes. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.